The World Wars were both very dark times. I would like to start this video off by saying lest we forget about the soldiers that sacrificed their lives for our countries. The stuff they have gone through and witnessed is truly traumatizing. Today we will be taking a look at World War I and talk about some terrifying artifacts recovered from that time. From a soldier's lone foot to the first ever gas masks. Let's talk about this and more only in today's video. Starting off this countdown, we have the gas mask. More than 500,000 men were injured or killed by poison gas during World War I. As a result, gas attack countermeasures were put in place, including gas masks. Now, early gases didn't have deadly effects like mustard gas did. The first gas attacks involved tear gas and chlorine gas. Tear gas is obviously irritating but relatively harmless. Chlorine, though, could be incredibly fatal. So troops would use rags or towels covered in urine to protect themselves. This was before proper masks were created. The mask we see here look absolutely terrifying. It's one of the first ones ever invented for soldiers. It did its job until more modern ones were invented, but you can't help but admit that these look hella creepy. Coming in at number 9, we have the creepy sniper uniform. So apparently this is the uniform that snipers would wear during World War I to camouflage in with their surroundings. Now, I'm just waiting for the damn comments about, "What uniform? I can't see anything, all I see is an empty case, hardy har har." Now, not gonna lie, this thing looks very creepy. So the uniform was made of linen that was painted with green, black, brown, and cream oil paint to give it that camouflage effect. Apparently this particular costume was from a British Army sniper, and it's currently on display in the Imperial War Museum in London. In our 8th spot, we have the SPLATTER mask. This was a mask that soldiers in tanks would use to protect themselves against remnants of explosions when looking through the viewports. It was given the name splatter mask because if a bomb was thrown or a shell explodes, obviously particles would come flying their way and, splatter onto their face. To avoid that, they wore these scary looking masks. The eyes were covered with metal, the mask was leather, and there was a chainmail skirt to cover their mouth and chin. Again, it did its part to protect soldiers, but it looked very creepy. Moving on to number 7, we have the Wall of Faces. After World War I, hundreds of soldiers were left wounded or disfigured, which is where Sir Harold Gillies comes into play. In the early 1900s, he started working on facial reconstruction for these wounded soldiers. Alongside artists, Gillies aimed to make the men look how they did before their injuries. This is a photo taken in Gillies' workshop. Yes, I know it looks scary, this is his wall of masks. Although it does look terrifying, Gillies' work was very important and helped shape modern-day plastic surgery and facial reconstruction. By the end of 1919, he managed to produce more than 185 masks. In our 6th spot, we have the foot. On October 12, 2011, archaeologists, a part of the Alsatian Archaeological Services, were exploring an underground war shelter in France when they came across something pretty horrifying. They found the remains of a German soldier. And by remains, I mean only his foot. He was buried alive after an enemy shell exploded above the tunnel in an attack on March 18, 1918. As for what happened to the rest of his body, I mean, you can only imagine. The men affected by this attack were considered missing in action until word got out about what happened to them. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the field dressing. This is a kit that each soldier carried during the First World War. It contained 2 dressings, which were comprised of a cotton gauze pad, a bandage, and a safety pin. Obviously, they carried this in case they got injured or their comrades did, and they couldn't get immediate medical attention. The kit also contained detailed instructions on how to open and apply the dressing. The scary thing about this is that the dressing is covered in blood splatter. Whether the soldiers survived treatment is unknown. This kit is now considered an artifact and is on display in Canada's War Museum in Ottawa. Coming in at number 4, we have the damaged helmet. This next item was a French combat helmet. It was sent to a museum directly from the battlefields in France by soldier Major Dana Wright. The scary part is that the helmet features bullet holes, one where the bullet entered the helmet and one where it exited the helmet. Now, we don't know how Major Wright got hold of the helmet, nor do we know if the soldier who wore it somehow survived, although a bullet to the head seems pretty hard to survive. This helmet just highlights the dangers of war and the sad reality that soldiers had to face. Coming in at number 3, we have the shell-shocked soldier and comrades. So the following image is a very popular one on the internet. It went viral because it's a photo of a shell-shocked soldier during 1916. It's a very scary photo. It shows Private Orbit Lindsay smiling at the camera. Little backstory, on the morning of September 16th, 1916, he was in a trench cleaning his rifle when he was hit in the neck by sniper fire. Thankfully he survived, but he was stuck laying in the trenches just bleeding out, waiting to be rescued. But the original photo actually features 3 soldiers and some medical orderlies tending to them. One soldier is getting his back treated while blood pours out from a gash on his face. Another is getting his arm treated. This photo just really emphasizes the horrors of war. In our second spot, we have the mustard gas victims. Mustard gas was first used in 1917 by the Germans. It is extremely dangerous and poisonous. The effects that it had on soldiers were absolutely terrifying. It causes severe eye and skin burns and terrible skin blisters. Not only that, but when inhaled, it would irritate and burn the soldier's lungs. Bad exposure could even lead to permanent disfigurement. This photo features Canadian soldiers suffering from mustard gas burns. The one soldier on the right closest to the camera got it really bad. His whole face and arms were burned and blistered. The other soldier behind him only was affected on his left side of his body. Still very scary. And in our number 1 spot today, we have the life-saving coins. Believe it or not, but 6 coins in a soldier's pocket managed to save his life after it stopped a bullet from entering his chest. On September 26, 1914, soldier Optimus Bison was out on the battlefield when he was shot by a German soldier. But the bullet managed to ricochet off of the coins he had in his breast pocket. So Bison acted dead, and then when the soldier left, he crawled to safety. The ironic part is that the coins were what got him shot in the first place. They were clinging together in his pockets, and that gave away his position. But then they were the reason that he lived. Isn't that incredible? Like, what are the odds of that? Either he's a very lucky or unlucky soldier. After the war, Bison lived until 1958 when he passed away from heart problems. Alright guys, that's all for today's video. If you want to see part 2, then you gotta let me know in the comments below and you gotta smash that like button. Now, speaking of comments, let's move on to our comment shoutout portion. I'll be shouting out comments from the video Top 10 Strange Experimental Communes That Are Too Good to Be True Part 2. That rhymed. John Scott commented, here in Spain there are several nudist towns. Even one that is half nudist and half prudist, but they coexist fine. I would have loved the opportunity to live there, but work means that it was never possible. Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. This is a real thing? Nudist towns? What do they do in the winter? Do they just like wear a big jacket and then when they get inside they take it off and they're like naked underneath? Also, you would have to be hella confident because I could never do that. I'd be like, don't look at me, don't look at me. Ah! Ah! Okay, wow. Robert W. commented, I'll always smash the like button if Lindsay is doing the top 10. Aw, thanks Robert. Smash that like button for me. Do it right now, everybody. Scroll down, click it, thanks. Kelly E. commented, really enjoy how part of your shirt is being portrayed as the screen behind you. Yeah, so I was wearing a Mickey Mouse Christmas sweater and apparently like the lights were green and like this is a green screen behind me, so the green parts took the background and everyone was commenting that and I didn't even realize that we can't wear green. Maybe on April Fool's I should just wear a green morph suit. I would love to do that. Just everything but my head, just be a floating head on screen. Wow, that'd be fun. Maybe I'll do it. Wes Gunton commented, am I the only one waiting for Lindsay to say I've been your host Peach when presenting Most Amazing Top 10? Not gonna lie, I have done it, but then I take it back and I do it the proper way. Also on Peach I have said subscribe to the Most Amazing channel. I have said that. If you guys didn't know, I have my very own personal channel. It's called Peach. We're almost at 60K now, so go over to Peach and subscribe right now. Do it right now. Vanessa Rincon commented, "Hi Lindsay, please shout me out. Watch you all the time. Love you. Love your presentation." Thank you so much, Vanessa. Here's your comment shout out. Hopefully you're watching this video. Alright guys, that's all the comments I'm shouting out for today's video. Make sure to comment something down below for a chance to be featured in my next comment shout out. And as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10 for more amazing videos. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan, and I'll see you when I see ya.